Hey guys, welcome to Transfer Movement, the YouTube channel. So welcome. So today's topic, seeing that it is January 1st and we have a lot of things to discuss. And so I find that every year, a lot of times people tend to always think, okay, new year, new me, this is it. Like I am going to rock out this year. I'm going to do all these things and, make these resolutions. And then the year rolls around and it just kind of surpasses that. And so a lot of people tend to have New Year resolutions that are like, I'm going to spend time with God, that I'm going to just commit more, I'm going to tithe more, I'm going to pray more, I am going to get rid of these bad habits, I am going to stop, watching things or listening to this or doing that. And so it's January 1st. Oh my goodness, how exciting. Everyone's excited for the new year. It is 2016. What else could we ask for? And so a lot of times, there should be a few things that we should actually leave behind. And so, the day has already changed, right? It's already January 1st. But our actions and our habits should be changing too, right? And so I can say that, I am not perfect, but one thing that I can say that my resolution, something that I wanted to work towards every day of my life throughout this past year has been to strengthen my relationship with God. And so there are so many ways that we can do that. And a lot of people don't seize that. And so Transfer Movement is here to share stories with you guys, to really encourage you guys bi-weekly, to get you out there, to get you trying new things, to really try that. And so I know we tend to set goals for things, but it's so important that, that we better our relationship with God. And so that takes work. Some Christians are so good at living a double life. Yes, that's right. I said a double life. And so some people are on fire, catching the Holy Ghost, jumping up and down on Fridays and Sundays, but come around to Monday to Sunday, they are just living a different life. And so some people on purposely separate their church friends with their fun friends. And so those two things should not be, because you are responsible for all the company that you keep. And so you're trying to juggle this life, and I know some people out there are really good at, separating the two friends and making sure that their lives are completely separate. Are you ashamed to be associated with certain friends? If so, why? The question is, have you done something, or you have specifically partaken in some actions, fill in the blank, whatever it was, and it's something that you are not proud of? Based on these three questions, you should really think about the company that you keep, because it is not necessarily about being perfect, because as Christians we are not perfect. But it doesn't matter if you've known them since you were 2 years old or you've known them for 3 days. The company that you keep affects it. And yes, as Christians we are supposed to minister to other people, but it does also say that we're not supposed to be unequally yoked. And so if we keep friends around that, Friday nights they want us to do this, and then on Sundays you can't even worship because you have so much guilt and shame, we need to start really analyzing you. Do you understand that you're the only living testimony or Bible that the person will ever see, perhaps? And if your friends are not Christian and you're doing the exact same things, one thing that I noticed is that I'm just as guilty as the next person. And so me turn around next week and saying, come to church, do you really think that that person will take your witness seriously? No, because you are just doing the same thing. And so it's setting yourself apart truly and genuinely. And sometimes we have to break up with bad character. Now some people say, well, I can do a good job of distancing myself with those friends, and I can continue just coming to church and having. The real world doesn't work that way. Sometimes you need to cut people out of your life for a reason. Now this applies to relationships as well. There is a lot of young men and women who have no business being in relationships with people that are so toxic for them. It's like, what the right thing to do, but it just sounds good in theory. Somehow, something is holding you back from actually breaking up with bad character. And so this is really time to really reflect and say, you know what? God, is this somebody that you want me to take out of my life? And if so, help me here, because I am weak. I can't do it by myself. Bad character can really be the root of a lot of disasters. Our hearts and our minds, and seeing where are we kind of compromising? Where are we normalizing some behaviors? Where are we normalizing some things that, that we're not really supposed to do? And the guilt and shame is not coming from God. He's not sitting here going like, oh, you went out on Saturday night and you're here on Sunday at church. You're supposed to be at church. But rather, the people around you. And so sometimes people are just socially excusing themselves. So that being said, 2015, we're going to leave behind bad company, because what we want to do is we want to better ourselves. We can't better ourselves and elevate ourselves if we are sticking around people who are constantly going through the same circles in life. And so the friends that you make are so important. They also are so crucial to your walk, but you need to heal yourself so that your witness is not tainted, your witness is not jeopardized, that your morals are not being tiptoed around with all the time, that you are always kind of thinking, am I walking my talk? I can't claim that I'm Christian and then, I act on these things that are really not truly a good reflection of my character. And so, it's really important that we stay focused, because God is going to ask us to be accountable for everything. And you know what? We've all made mistakes. We've all been friends with people that we've had no business being friends around with. We've all had friends who were toxic at one point that we had to realize we need to let them go, because when we heal and when we change, we are good enough. We are better as people. We can go out and we can help other people. And so that's why I genuinely believe that, 2016, let it be a year where you break up with bad character, because you don't want to end up being the Christian that is just a hypocrite, right? And so you don't want to be a Pharisee turning your nose up at people when you're doing just as much the same thing, right?